Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs, the new formulated version due to our changing economy. And I want to thank all our listeners as we are increasing listenership and viewership, more viewership every single week, because people are still at work. The majority of people are still working, and the economy is changing dramatically. People are shifting, and that's just the reality of today. And our next guest to discuss the reality in their world is Melissa Sidney, Chair of Estate Planning, Tarlow, Breed, Hart, and Rodgers. That means you work with Mark Furman, our litigation reporter. Welcome to the show, Melissa.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks so much for having me.
You know I speak to a lot of law firms, probably more than I would like to, and I'm hearing a lot of stories about, wills and estates and how busy that end of the law firm has been through this whole crisis. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Our Trust and Estates Department has been extremely busy. There are a few things going on. Obviously, with the crisis, given that it's a health crisis, people are thinking about their estate plans and making sure that they're up to date. The other thing that people are thinking about is now with the economy in decline, people are also thinking about making large transfers to their children. With the depressed value of family businesses and portfolios, now's a great time to gift assets to younger generations.
Yeah, I bet you're doing a lot of work on that. I had a discussion yesterday. It's really not, it's kind of sad that the best part, that a large part of our population that's unemployed is let's say the least skilled area of our population in a lot of degrees. And I think a lot of people are looking at their families and their trusts in terms of what they do with certain parts of their family who may not be able to get back to work in this economy. Yeah. Have you had to look at that also? It's kind of sad.
A little bit. I will say I feel very lucky that my clients tend to be more affluent, but they're certainly concerned about their children, especially with everything that's going on. If their kids have mental health issues or addiction issues, now is a really challenging time for them. And we've been helping them plan so that way their children are protected when they do struggle with things like mental health issues or addiction.
Right. That is exactly what I meant, because 2 months ago, a lot of those people were working and a part of the economy. A lot of them are home. They're suffering from depression. Mental health industry is booming right now, but their prospects are not necessarily optimistic to get back to work. And so this becomes an issue for the whole family and long-term as well. So it's something that I've had to, some of my clients have talked to me about, and it is a concern for me as well. So.
Yeah, no, we're seeing that as well. We're seeing that as well.
I also think that, it must be a moving target for you right now also, isn't it? I mean, laws are changing almost daily.
Yes. So I think with everything that's coming out from the government, the Paycheck Protection Program and other laws like that, clients who have small businesses want to know what they can do to protect themselves and their employees so that they can weather what's going on as well as possible. The other thing that clients are thinking about is that currently under federal law, there's an exemption amount of just over 11.5 million per person. And that's scheduled to sunset at the end of 2025 and go back to approximately 5 or 6 million per person. We don't know the exact amount at this point. And so clients want to make sure that they take advantage of that as soon as possible. And right now with low interest rates and also depressed values of assets, now is a great time to make those large transfers to trusts or the younger generation.
I think that's a very good point. That this is a good time, even though people are concerned about their own financial well-being, that if you are looking at transfers, that this is the time to do it at the least taxable of it. This is the least taxable opportunity, correct? That's what you're saying?
Yeah. You can get take advantage of your exemption now to the greatest extent possible. As people have this huge, historically large exemption amount of over 11.5 million, plus with the depressed value of assets, you can really leverage that exemption.
Right, right. So what else is going on in estate planning at Tarlow Breed? Because I know it is a busy time.
So I would say the biggest challenge to date has been for our clients who really want to sign estate planning documents is that the Massachusetts legislature has not yet passed a virtual notarization statute. And so for clients who do want to sign estate planning documents, it's been really challenging to sign it in a way that's safe and socially distant. I had a client come to my house last week. Everyone was wearing a mask. I was wearing a mask. They were wearing masks. And it was that day, it was torrential downpour. So we couldn't meet outside. We met in my garage. I put up a card table in my garage. I put the documents down, took 6 feet back. They came forward, signed the documents. They took 6 steps backwards. And, this was a week ago, so everyone seems like they were fine. We were all in masks. But for clients who do have health issues, that's probably not the best way to sign documents right now. And thankfully, in that situation, we didn't need a witness. I could just notarize those documents. But I would say the lack of any type of legislation dealing with that issue is probably the biggest challenge that estate planners are facing right now. And I just want to add, Massachusetts is one of 8 states that does not have any type of legislation, either emergency legislation or permanent legislation dealing with that issue.
Do you have an opinion why that is? Why we are only one of 8 states?
We've been very slow to act. I think the other thing also is that there are those in the legislature who are concerned that this is just for real estate transfers. And so by not having the law, it only impacts things like deeds and mortgages when it's actually a lot more far reaching. I think the other thing also is that some of the legislature are concerned about undue influence, that an elderly person is going to be pressured to sign estate planning documents. And there won't be the normal checks and balances to make sure that that undue influence is not happening. Obviously, that is a concern. But if we look at the number of people who need to sign documents right now, I think that that concern is minor compared to all the first responders who want to have updated estate planning documents and can't get them right now.
I just heard a similar story this morning about some banks that are not doing electronic signatures, and they were, and it kind of like shocked me that some banks were working still for real signatures on some of these documents on some of these loans. And then other banks are doing it all electronically. I know I've been doing all my work with my bank electronically, and to hear that some banks in this world are not, it was shocking to me.
Yeah.
I don't, and I'm trying to fight not having any face-to-face meetings right now. I'm trying to do them all, this way.
And it's really for everyone's safety. I had a lot of clients who are doctors, and they're really concerned right now about trying to flatten the curve and make sure people minimize contact. So to have a system where people can sign estate planning documents and other official documents in a way that's safe for everyone is really important.
I appreciate your telling us what's going on. And we've been speaking with Melissa Sidney, Chair of Estate Planning at Tarlow, Breed, Hart & Rodgers. Melissa, I know that you have a vibrant practice that goes way back at Tarlow, Breed, Hart & Rodgers for estate planning. I've known Ed Tarlow for many, many years at the Family Business Association and other things, as well as others. If somebody's looking for you and looking for assistance or guidance during this time of change, how would they find you?
So they can either email me at msydney, MSYDNEY, at T as in Tom, V as in boy, H as in heart, R as in Roger, -law.com. Or they can call me at the firm. My direct number is 617-218-2031.
Well, thanks for being on the show. We hope you come back again because we know there's going to be more changes and there's more transition going on. And I wish you all the best of health.
Thank you.
Remind everybody this is Radio Entrepreneurs.